This is Sheshachalam from Astro Guide myself. Today let us go into the topic of understanding the results of Jupiter's transit for the next two signs, that is Sagittarius and Capricorn. I have finished till Scorpio, so anybody who wishes to uh, go through those videos can go through my previous videos, and then you can understand how actually the results are for people who are having Janma Rashi as from Aries to Scorpio, Janma Rashi and Janma Lagna both. Put together, I am giving you a detailed analysis as to how actually it will be. So here today we are understanding Sagittarius. I have made some notes for it. So we can understand that Sagittarius, Jupiter is the Lagnadipati. It is the Lagna Lord, and it is now transiting in the 4th house in its own sign once again in the Pisces. So being the Lagna Lord and transiting its own sign, it should be giving you wonderful results. But one thing you should understand, that Lagnadipati himself getting into a Kendra Sthana will give a lot of challenges because of the Kendradipatya dosha, and no doubt the person will get a lot of beneficial results in this particular transit, but this transit is not going to be so easy for them. This 1 year of transit Jupiter for Sagittarius is not going to be so easy, because one thing, Jupiter is not going to transit only directly there. It's also going to become retrogression from July 29th to November 23rd. So in this period of retrogression, there will be some difficulties which the native will face. So I'll start telling you one point by point. There will be delay and difficulty, but still you will get the promotion, which was you have been waiting from many months and years. So people who are working in their professions, promotions will be got, but because of this nature of Jupiter being the Kendra Sthana Adipati in both Kendras, that is 1st and the 4th, there will be some difficulties and challenges which the person has to face. This is a very good period of time for him to construct or buy a property, and since Jupiter is going to be retrograde, due caution has to be considered. That is, a person has to go through the caution of checking the papers. Better have a good lawyer who goes through the papers, have a good guidance, advocate. That will be better. So if you are not able to do it yourself, then it's better that you get it done by people. So get the papers checked. The documentation problem should not arise, because there is a chance that in this particular period there might be problems of documentation, some problems of filing. It can happen for people who are born with Lagna Sagittarius or Chandra in Sagittarius. So the native's mother, because it is the 4th house, has to be a little careful, because the mother's health might come under a little bit of difficulty. So she might go through some difficult moments in her life. So that is also one thing which has to be understood. And I have a bird roosting here, so it's asking me to finish it off. So you can get this clicking sound there continuously happening, because we have a pond heron which actually sleeps here. So wasteful expenses might crop up. That is because, once again, it is the Lagnadipati in the 4th, and because of the Kendradipatya dosha, a lot of wasteful expenses can happen in this particular period. So be prepared, be careful, do not unnecessarily do things which will again cost you money. Do not get involved in legal matters in this period, because this period is not good for getting involved into legal matters. There will be a lot of trouble. So you will once again, wasteful expenses is nothing but simply throwing money for legal battle. So see that you do not start any legal battle now, and see that if there is going to be a compromise, you finish it in this year, so that you don't have to unnecessarily go through the saga of legal battles. So this year is not that great with regard to documentation and legal battles for Sagittarius. So do not, you should refrain from argumenting. So argumentation, that is, there should not be any debate or arguments with people where you work, because the fourth house is the seventh from the 10th, and it will become an opposition to the 10th, and Jupiter might crop up some issues in your workplace where actually you might find it difficult to carry on. So you should not unnecessarily go through these problems. So do not unnecessarily argue in workplace. Be as cool as possible. Take things normally and things should be fine. So carrying on with Capricorn, Jupiter here for Capricorn is the third and the 12th lord, and it is posited in the third house, the house of activity. Being the 12th lord and the third lord, it is a malefic for Capricorn, no doubt. But being in the third house, it will increase the activity of studies. Students can actually get very good marks with third house Jupiter. But also they can also, in the retrogression period, they can also go astray, get deviated from their studies, and they can go through a lot of difficulty with regard to studies. But the retrogression period is very much in the start of the schooling or start of the college, but it is not at the exam time, so nothing to worry that much. So it's a neutral planet for Capricorn. It's not that a malefic, because it's the 12th lord also, it becomes neutral. That the transit will be favorable because it's the third house transit. Jupiter will favor because it's in its own on its own side. There will be a little laziness which actually the person will be showing. That is because of the third house Jupiter, the lethargy will keep carrying on. But see that you will be able to do things in good routine. And people who wish to get married and settled can get married in this period. This is not such a great period for marriage, but still, because it is the 12th lord which is involved in the third house, there is a chance of happy married life. So short travels are seen, like touring, going to abroad countries, going around, and it's just for short travels. That is for what we call a sightseeing, or going for happy tourism. So what we call as holidaying. So this holiday plans can be kept alive this year. There anyway expenses are going to be there for Sagittarius for Capricorn also, because it's the 12th lord. There might be hospitalization, there might be expenses through travel, there might be expenses because of sudden losses in share market. So please do not unnecessarily get involved in share market, because from the third house Jupiter aspects many other houses like the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So it aspects the 5th, aspects the 7th house, which is actually for trading. So simply suddenly don't do frantic and panic investments. You should understand that all investments will not be great and fruitful. So gains from external sources are there, like import and export businesses can happen. You can also start gaining from suddenly from good orders. So people who are having businesses can do very well in this period. So there might be a little bit of difficulty with regard to siblings because of Jupiter in the third house. And when it becomes retro, there might be some misunderstanding in the siblings, with the siblings. So we need to be careful. People who are born in Capricorn, Lagna or Moon, that is Janmarashi, will have to be a little careful, not unnecessarily go into any, fight or argument with siblings. So arguments, be cool here, because it's the third house, house of communication. You need to argue less, think more and be silent. So this is the year, because of the Jupiter is telling us to be silent and do your work. So father of the native will be fine. He will be of very great help to the native, because Jupiter is well placed in this particular place. It is good for the father, but it is not that great for the mother of the native, because the third house Jupiter clearly shows that there might be some gastric problem, or problems of the knee and joints, which might trouble the native's mother. So I have covered two Rashis today. That is, one is Sagittarius, the other one is Capricorn. So thank you very much for today's class.